Hello and welcome to Talk of Good Games. Just finished Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 2. Well, it was 2-1 until 30 seconds to go. But we're here to talk about the 90 minutes. Let's get straight into it. Charlie, good lineup. Similar to the Spurs when people kept their places. But the first 30 minutes of that game, very sloppy football. Two sides who look like they're in a relegation battle or they're ready for a relegation battle.
Yeah, definitely. And the amount of times I found myself screaming, just where are the options, was just so infuriating to watch. We didn't get far, our wing backs didn't get far enough forward. Passing was slow and sloppy. It was just, as you said, it was two teams of just dire proportions, to be honest with you.
Tom, literally 2 seconds after that 30-minute mark, though, we decided to play some football for 30 seconds and it worked. What do you make of the goal? Ayew out to Creswell, first time crossing, first time finish from Hernandez outside of his foot. 41st Premier League goal, all 41 have come inside the 18-yarder, 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to talk about this because I thought I had a great point to make, and that was before we went and let it slip at the end. So, no, I mean, I said to you guys on Twitter during the game, I couldn't understand for the life of me why Hernandez hasn't been playing as well as he potentially has been. And I went back and I read a piece that I'd done with some of the guys down in Mexico, a few of our friends at SB Nation who'd seen him play for Mexico, had seen him play for Bayer Leverkusen, Hernandez fans. And they all said, obviously, we earmarked at the start of the season that his best asset is his ability to move off the ball. It's fantastic. But he starts that move off. He makes a beautiful pass backwards. I can't remember who played it out wide to Cresswell, but they all said he is at his best when he has playmakers running forward with him, when the wing backs are bombing on, fast, quick passes. And he only has one dimension. Charlie's mentioned it in the past. He only has one dimension. But when he's doing that dimension, he's doing it well. He's unbelievable. And he's got himself in an absolutely brilliant position. It's a brilliant low hard cross from Cresswell and a fantastic top world-class finish on the outside of his foot. And like I said, if Bilic plays to those strengths of what it is, playing that fast, quick football, getting people forward, getting people, the playmakers in the team to adhere to those qualities, I mean, he will do it 9 times out of 10 and in the box as well. It's a fantastic goal, and it's what we've been wanting to see from Hernandez the past few weeks.
Tom, 30 seconds before that, right at the other end of the pitch, Townsend went past Fonte. He went down. Palace fans shouted pen. No pen was given, obviously. We went right up and scored. Was that a pen for you?
Yes, I think it was, because I think Bobby Madley's obviously, this obviously relates to the penalty, I guess we'll talk about in a second, but he's got no need to make that challenge. The ball is going nowhere. The man is going nowhere. You don't need to be sticking your legs out in that position. I can't count how many penalties we've given away this season because it must be quite a few, and they've all been ridiculous. Fonte has got no need. The same for Ogbonna, I'd say the same thing about him. He's got no need to go and make that challenge. Whether it's a light touch or not, he's obviously going to be looking for the penalty. The ball's going nowhere. Just use your head. He's an experienced centre-back. And for me, potentially, obviously, with what the Ogbonna one was as well, that is a penalty. So he's lucky to get away with it, to be honest. And obviously, Bobby Madley's made up for it with the next decision he made with Ogbonna.
One debate before the game was who starts in goal. Joe Hart obviously got the number 1 shirt back. And on the 35th minute, he decided to show just why. James Tompkins, the ex-West Ham defender, got a header, a free header pretty much at the goal. Fantastic first save then Joe Hart, and then he followed up again. Brilliant, another save. 41 minutes though, Charlie. Mr. Andre Ayew picks the ball up from a loose pass, more sloppy play on the halfway line. He runs at Scott Dan, skins Scott Dan, 20 yards out, bang. What a rocket. Best goal West Ham scored this season.
Yeah, and we've both said it before, like, he's not shown his full ability yet, and we keep saying it, and like everyone keeps tapping Merchant, all this stuff. But what you saw there was a guy, when he's full of confidence, he just strolled up to Palace's defence like they were nothing, twisted them in and out, bang, and then blasted it in. And it's an absolutely, like I said, it's the best goal this season we've scored, I think. And he is someone who, for a full flowing team, you could see this guy scoring easily double figures in the season, quite just being a brilliant player. And the fact that everyone is struggling, it means that he's just looking absolutely pointless at times. But absolutely fantastic goal. Genuinely, genuinely fantastic.
Well, Scott Dan was left dizzy after Andre Ayew decided to skin him. And then 5 minutes later, it was half-time. It was 2-0 West Ham. Tom, what were you thinking at half-time? I mean, sloppy football, but somehow we were 2-0 in front.
Sloppy football, but if you can win when you're bad, fair enough. You take the result. And a 2-0 at half-time, we've obviously been buoyed by, Charlie said, the confidence there in Ayew. you know, after the result midweek, we're looking to bounce back, and we were playing with that confidence. As soon as that first goal went in, actually we stepped up and we played how we played on the second half on Wednesday night. And as you could see, I was full of confidence. The team was playing as a unit and not as individuals, and it was good to see. And at 2-0 at half time, genuinely, probably like every other West Ham fan, against a Palace side like that, who weren't offering anything, who have no recognised striker on the pitch, you've got to be thinking this result is potentially in the bag here. Like, we're aiming for 3 points. We should have been able to bury that match in the second half. And obviously, it's not happened. But at half time, to answer your question, I was absolutely comfortable and I was fine. I was happy, and I thought, you know, this is it. We're heading straight for 3 points here.
One sub made at half time is Masuaku come on for Alan Creswell. Must have been an injury because Creswell was playing okay and obviously got the assist. Masuaku decided to come on and spend 45 minutes just kicking people until he got a yellow card. But 5 minutes after half time, Charlie, we kind of. This is what you fear as a West Ham fan when you're 2-0 at half-time, and that is conceding an early goal. That's exactly what we did do. While Font did an error in the first half for a penalty and got off with it, we were never getting off with the second one. Ogbonna brings down Townsend this time.
Yeah, and as Tom brought up, they have no recognised striker fit. And so you think, okay, so where are their dangers coming from? Zaha and Townsend, what do? They'll get in behind, they'll try and twist you and turn you. That's what they do. They're dribblers, right? So you just be sensible. And just like Tom said, he was literally going nowhere. It didn't have to happen. You just had to stand up and just make sure he can't go any further. And to be fair, Zaha did it a bit later on and absolutely mugged someone off. But you just stand him up. You don't go in rash and stupid. It was needless. He was going nowhere. It was clumsy. It was everything that Ogbonna gets criticised for constantly. And it was obvious. It was unfortunately, it was obvious, a personal, stupid, silly mistake.
Then there was a game-changing sub on the 60th minute as Mikel Antonio came on for the already booked Pablo Zabaleta at the right wing-back position. Zabaleta's now got 5 yellow cards, so he will miss the Liverpool game. Strange sub, whether Zabaleta has an injury or was Bilic doing tactics to get his booked right wing-back who was up against Zaha off the pitch. Probably scared of another red card or something, I'm not sure. Then in the 73rd minute, Declan Rice came on for Jose Font, who went off injured, so we've got another injured centre-back as Winston Reid failed a fitness test this morning. And in the 77th minute, Tom, let's talk about this guy, Joe Hart. But first of all, a save from Zaha, and then he saves Kabai's free kick. But he was on another level today, would you say?
I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I don't want to deflect away from that question because I will answer in a second, but you brought up Bilic's subs, and I cop a lot of flack for this, but I actually thought his subs today made sense. Zabaleta's on a yellow card. They put Schlupp over to left wing back. There's going to be pace down that left-hand side. You need to combat that. You need someone with Antonio's strength potentially to work against Schlupp. And I thought it was a massive call bringing Declan Rice on. Probably, a few weeks ago, he wouldn't have done that. But I thought it was a massive call to bring the youngster on. And actually, he made a fantastic stop. 20 minutes later on towards the end when there was, I think, there's almost a goal assured. So I thought up until that point, Bilic's substitutions were fine. As for Joe Hart, he was absolutely exceptional. Joe Hart is best. I mean, if he'd have saved the penalty today, maybe, it would have been an unbelievable performance. But he was at his best. The saves he was making, and just the reaction say, the Joe Hart of a few years ago when City won the title, and it's great to see him playing with confidence. Obviously, there's a lot of talk between who should be starting between Adrian and Joe Hart. For me, it's Adrian every day. It's Joe Hart every single day of the week. And today proved exactly why. It's just a shame he's been let down for the 2 goals from his teammates.
And arguably saving the best to last. In the 90th minute, James Tompkins rose once again from a corner and Joe Hart tipped onto the bar before Declan Rice decided to scream at Ogbonna about his lack of awareness in defending. Then in the 96th minute, this is when it all goes wrong. This is where a footballer, Charlie, you have often criticised on this channel. I have as well, but you more, for not having a footballing brain, for not being a technical footballer. Mikel Antonio runs down the right wing. He skins his man. He's in the corner. Less than a minute to go. He's loads of space. He could literally sit down for 10 seconds before someone got near him, but he decides to cross the ball. 3 West Ham players in the box and 1 Palace player, and he somehow finds a goalkeeper, I think it was. He doesn't find a West Ham shirt. Ball goes up, ends up in the back of our net. What is Mikel Antonio doing, Charlie? Is this where he shows his lack of footballing brain?
I'd say lack of a brain whatsoever. What I don't understand what he's going for. There were times in that second half where he would sprint, cut inside and try a wild shot with his left foot and it would go flying over the bar. And I'm like, this is why I don't watching him, because he does just stupid stuff like that. And then just sit in the corner, man. What are you doing? Usually you would run inside, cut inside, and go for a pop shot anyway. At least then you time waste. He doesn't. He literally looks up, strolls into their area with no real intent, and pops off absolutely atrocious cross, which was nothing. The Palace player tests it back to the goalkeeper. They ping it up the pitch, and then back. Why? Right, he's playing wing back. He has to track back. There's just no. They've got fast wingers. Your one job as a wing back in that scenario is to track back and stop them. And then what happens? Kouyaté has to come across to try and cover him. The defense is out of shape. And then, to be fair, Zaha does actually do brilliantly for that goal. He genuinely does. The turn, the finish, fantastically done. But he shouldn't have had that opportunity. A, because Antonio shouldn't have flipping done the thing at the other end of the pitch anyway. And B, because he should have tracked back. It's stupid. It's stupid. And do you know what? We've said he's been injured the last couple of weeks. Maybe that's probably why he hasn't put in as much work rate as usual, or whatever. And I'm not going to go on about how much I dislike him anymore. You know, if he had any sort of like brain, he would have charged back to try and get that, or done something up the other end. And he flops it. He's almost the sole reason why that second goal went in.
Tom?
I mean, several things. I mean, one, I think there was a few plays from 90 minutes till the 96th, 97th minute that all had opportunities to keep it in the corner. Hernandez was one. I can't remember who was the other, but Antonio probably actually more than once. His attitude when he even came onto the pitch didn't look like he wanted to play. He sauntered on and he didn't look bothered. And his attitude just absolutely stunk from the time he came on to the end of the day. And it's just a simple thing to do. You have got 15 seconds left of the game. You keep the ball in the corner and you just play out for the win. That's all you have to do. And if you are going to, attempt to go into the box and make a cross, actually make it look like you actually give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like the way that he sauntered into the box and just lazily put up the attitude is absolutely horrible. Now, I don't know if that's because he's been benched by Bilic today or what, but I mean, freaking hell, it's just simple things. And unfortunately, two player mistakes have cost us this afternoon. And I personally, other than Bilic maybe needs to look at set pieces from corners and stuff, because although that was absolutely appalling today, our set pieces from corners, that I lay on Bilic's fault. Okay, that's something he should be working on in the training ground. But too many players did not give a shit in that second half to actually want to play and just actually look bothered making rash challenges. And I feel sorry for Bilic because he's two of his players have thrown away this game this afternoon, and it's just basic things. It's not like it's difficult stuff. It's both stupid decisions. And I tell you, Antonio, I don't know what you do. Do you fine him? What do you do with him now? Do you know? Because like I said, something is wrong with his attitude. And it's cost the game. I'm more in shock because I can't believe how daft he was to do what he's done.
It's arrogance as well. I think it's arrogance. When he first joined us, he joined as a championship player at a point to prove. He wore his heart on his sleeve week in, week out. And the West Ham fans took to him very quickly. They put him up on a pedestal and said, this is our Hammer of the Year. He's fantastic, blah, blah, blah. This season, you can argue he's been half fit in a lot of the games. I accept that. He does always look injured. But today, there's no obvious signs of injury. And even if he was sort of half injured, he was only on the pitch for, half an hour? It's not that long. He didn't have that much to do, really. He didn't really get tested. But what he did in the last minute, you could be blowing out your arse, and you still cannot excuse that. That's not tiredness. That's not injury. That's just sheer arrogance, sheer selfishness. Hernandez, 5 minutes before that, Hernandez should have shot. Hernandez got put into the box. He should have took the shot, but he didn't. He used his experience, his knowledge, and thought, you know what, if I shoot and the keeper catches it, it goes up the end very quickly. There's 5 minutes to go. We're desperate for a win. He takes into the corner. Him and Ayew ran the clock down for about a minute over in that corner. They got a throw and they took it back into the corner and stuff. They ran it down. You would like to see them go for the goal, but they didn't. Antonio just does the complete polar opposite. Like Charlie said, even pick out a player or something. Kill the game, yes, but pick out a player. But he doesn't even do that. He literally just shoots into the box. It's so powerful as well. I don't even know what the West Ham player is meant to do when he does it. But this is what really irks me. We talk about Antonio's lack of football and being Andre Ayew. Literally, the ball comes out. Someone goes shoulder to shoulder with Ayew inside the Palace half. You've got to bring him down. You have to just swipe him out. Take the booking. Boot the ball away as well if you have to. I don't care. We do not do this enough. we do not take enough fouls for the team. When we're winning, we should be committing fouls. And as soon as Palace get the ball in their half, you should be going through someone, taking that booking, giving them a free kick, breaking the ball, breaking the game up completely. We didn't. They were building momentum for that last 5-10 minutes. They were getting half chance after half chance. And they were quickly trying to restart. Every time the ball went out, they were trying to quickly restart, and we let them. There was not one player decided to just pick the ball up and just hold it for a couple of minutes. What are you going to do? Get a booking? Half our players haven't even been. Mark Noble hasn't been booked this season. Mark Noble, of all people, has still not had a yellow card. And it just really, really irks me. But Charlie, our manager, he had 2 games. He beat Spurs. He's drawn the game today. He walked out off that game today shaking his head no. It's hard to tell if he's shaking his head no as if I've just lost my job or if he's pissed off with his players a bit both. Does he go today? I mean, he had 2 games to save his job. Has he saved it?
What the board are going to do or what I think, because I think if you're going off what the board are going to do, then they won't. They'll just keep him in because you got a win and a draw. That's enough for them. They're happy with that. We can get another 3 games. Blah 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 blah. You know, we'll be in this situation in 3 weeks' time, guaranteed. For me, I would say no, because there were signs at times of something kicking off that second half against Spurs. I didn't unfortunately see it, but listening to the review, it sounded actually like people were. And then there were times in that game today where you could see something was there, but it's not enough for everyone to be Bilic in, and it's not enough for him to go either. It's the worst. It's almost the worst thing, really, because we all just look at it now and go, maybe, I guess. And that's the worst feeling in the world, really.
What about yourself, Tom? I mean, you've just said you don't blame Bilic for the subs. I mean, it would be easy enough with hindsight to do that, but your honest is, I agree with you, actually. I don't really particularly blame the subs. Do you think he deserves to go, or do you think he should go?
No. I think, do you know what? We've been critical of him in the past. We said he needed 2 results. He got a fantastic one on Wednesday night, and he's been, like I said today, he's been let down by individual errors. So of course, yes, he should have the next few games to see what he can do. I'll preface what I say by saying, you know, Crystal Palace, fair enough, they came all guns blazing that second half and they didn't give up. And it was commitment to them at the end that they actually came back and you know, got a result out of the game. They didn't stop trying for a team that are down at the minute, you know. So before Palace fans come on disliking the video, you know, that fair play to them today. But I also think maybe there are certain decisions that you have to look at from Bilic. Maybe if he was worried about the pace that Jeffrey Schlupp or Zaha was bringing down that right-hand side, maybe he should have started Byram today, because obviously he didn't really put a foot wrong in the cup match the other day. So maybe he should have started the game with someone to counteract that potential pace down that right-hand side. And maybe if we are defending poorly at set pieces, maybe take Ayew or Hernandez off and get a bigger body like Carroll in there. So that's the only criticisms I could say of him today, was maybe Byram should have started to counteract the pace and have Carroll a bigger body in to defend at set pieces, because we didn't look comfortable at any point today. But other than that, he needed to get 2 results. He had a fantastic win, like I said, on Wednesday. And he said, flipping out, trying to get my words out here. So he had a fantastic result, yeah, and the players let him down today. So he should obviously have the next couple of games to try and turn it around.
What I will say, though, about his subs, 2 of them were forced. The Creswell one and the Fonte one were forced. I'd imagine Creswell's injured. Zabaleta may well have been forced as well. We don't know if that was a tactical sub or if it was an injury or what. I don't know. But 2 of his subs he had to do. He didn't have a choice. Obiang was ready to come on before Rice come on. So he was also thinking about putting Obiang in there, probably for Fernandez to shore that midfield up, which I think would have been the right sub. I know what you're saying about Carroll. But I'd have left Ayew and Hernandez on. Bear in mind that they'd both scored and they'd only needed 1 chance each to do it. I mean, fucking hell, Ayew's wasn't even a chance. It was half a chance and he took it. But my problem is today, we didn't play well. Palace had more chances than us, a lot more chances. They hit the woodwork with Cabaye as well. They hit the post, they hit the bar. Hart had to make 4 or 5 top saves. When we do our man of match in a minute, I've got a feeling we're all going to pick the same person, and it's the one that wears gloves on the pitch. I mean, that says something to me. Palace are one of the worst teams in the Premier League right now. It might not be in a few weeks' time, but right now they are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. We were 2-0 up. We should have seen that game out. We really should have seen that game out, and we didn't. And it does come down to Antonio's idiotic mistake, but they could have scored 2 or 3 a time before Antonio did that absolute error. But Charlie, is there any players that you thought did well today without, not Hart, we've spoke about Hart, but anyone else that you thought did well, or was there anyone that you thought was poor?
I Lanzini continues to be just the greatest thing on earth. Drift past the player like they weren't even there. He got hacked down a couple of times because going past them just did not know how to handle him. And if we had players around him, that would work. That would be lovely. Like I even know.
Yeah, I think we're struggling there with Charlie's communication line. Tom, what about yourself? Is there any players you would like to pick out that played well or you thought played poorly?
Oh man, I'm so deflated, mate. Obviously, I'll pick man of the match in a second, but I mean, you'd be daft not to choose the one man that deserves man of the match today. Players playing well.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Because, like you said, I think the second half is just taken out. That 15 minutes of before half time, is probably where we can pick out who played well in that moment. I thought Noble was okay. Again, probably not as vicious or as he should have been. But it's just difficult. I don't know, mate. I mean, you probably better than me at this one, but I just in my head there's one man, and obviously that's going to get my man of the match. So, but other than that, not really. I guess not really.
I think this says a lot when we're all struggling to pick out a player that's played well. And it's not. I'm not even asking for someone that's played excellent, just well. I mean, our back five. I thought Creswell did okay when he was on. I think Noble did okay. A few sloppy passes, but he did okay. I thought Hernandez did okay, took his chance, but I didn't really see much of him apart from that, in all honesty. I thought Ayew did well. He was dropping deep. He was actually linking up with Lanzini. I thought Lanzini did well on the ball. But at the other end of the scale, I thought Ogbonna was horrific. Every time the ball went near him, I thought something was waiting to happen for Crystal Palace. He conceded a penalty. He lost the guy for the header. Tompkins, when he hit the bar, Ogbonna did that. He gave away the free kick on the edge of the area that Cabaye Hart had to pull off the save. Ogbonna could have cost us today, but Antonio will be the one that grabs the headlines for what he's done. I thought Chiati did okay at centre back as well. It's good. I hope he stays there, actually. I thought Declan Rice did well when he come on. Fernandez, didn't really see enough of him, unfortunately. But Tom, is there anything else you would like to say about the overall thing? I mean, this is... Are we in a relegation battle? It's 10 games in. So we're now over 25% of the league. We've got Liverpool next. Then we're away to Watford. There's no easy games on the horizon anymore. We've just finished the easy fixtures.
Yeah, we've got Chelsea and City to come as well in the next few weeks. So it's like this. Obviously, you would have to say at the minute, yeah, we're not showing signs of a team that that I don't know that he's going to stay up. Obviously, with the squad, I don't expect us to go down, but. This is just beyond a joke. Like I said, to get those two results, and like I said, if you manage to get a win when you're not playing well in that second half, the team's going to take a massive confidence boost from that. Especially after the week we've had, it goes in with Liverpool, full of positivity. Now it's just that nervousness is back in our minds again, and we've got to go back home after a poor result really today. So on the one hand, I'd like to say, yeah, we are. Sort of in a relegation battle because we're not picking up those points yet, or we're throwing them away, literally. It's just times. I don't know. It's just strange times at West Ham at the minute. It really is.
Charlie, what about yourself? What's your final thoughts?
We are in a relegation battle. We're in and around those. A couple of wins will do us good. We'll get back out of it again. Fortunately, we're right at the top. So a couple of wins will push us out of that battle. But right now, if this continues, then we are definitely in it. And we just need to get the confidence, Tom said, we just look shaky at all times. And we just need to get the stupid, silly mistakes out of our game. If we can annihilate those from our game, we would have won today. And the amount of times we could say that is ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. So we just need those ironed out.
Tom?
I was just going to say one last point. I was so glad that Bilic left Arnautovic on the bench today. And do you know what? You can leave Antonio there for the Liverpool game. I don't even care at this point. We need a team that are going to want to play together and play as a team. We don't need individuals that have got too bigger egos, just because they think they've had a good season. I think they're bigger than the club. Sit on the bench for all I care. I don't care how good of a squad we've got. It takes 11 players to win a game most times, unless your name's Lionel Messi. But especially when you're in the Premier League, it takes all 11 guys to win a game. And if you can't be arsed fighting for the calls, then just take your arse and sit on the bench, because that is everything that was wrong with that Arnautovic signing. I was so worried when we signed him because I thought this is just a guy who is himself first. He doesn't think of the team. So get a team that actually want to play together. Get the system right in Bilic's head and how he wants to play it, and hopefully the results will come. But just like I said, disappointing result today.
I have to agree. It still looks like people don't want to play, but it's for the manager or the player. They're not giving 100% effort in there. Some players are. Every time someone went to line up a shot, there were certain players throwing themselves in the way, saying you're not sure. But there's other players that are just standing there, just happily, half-arsed attitude. And what Antonio did at the end there, he deserves to be dropped for it. I don't want to see him starting against Liverpool either for that, because that's unforgivable. But anyway, easiest question of the day probably. Charlie, who's your man of match? Tom?
Joe Hart.
Well, Joe Hart gets a triple man of match from us. It's quite rare that, but I think it was that bloody obvious. And that worries me though. Our keeper conceded 2, but still got man of match. That says a lot about the team performance for me. But anyway, you guys at home, let us know what you think of the performance, and if you think Bilic should go after that one. He had 2 games. He beat Spurs and he drew with Crystal Palace. And who do you blame for this one? Is it a collective thing? Do you look at Bonner for his defending Antonio at the last minute, or Bilic's subs? Were they all wrong? Let us know your whole thoughts below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Drop a like on the video. And of course, we'll see you on the forum at hammerchat.com. That's been Charlie. That's been Tom. I've been Gio. We've been Hammerchat. And we'll see you for the preview for Liverpool. Big game. Could be Bilic's last, but it could be our new manager's first one. We'll soon find out.